My name is Kit Izotyn Wetrok, and you may formally know me as Christopher Bruce Halliday. Well, I'm changing my name, and it's not because of my family, it's not because of the past, it's because of a future that I'm trying to advocate for, and that future is for Wetrock. Wetrock to me means a habitable planet. I just happen to be named Wetrock, or I chose to call myself that. My property has a spring in a rocky area, so yes, I am Wetrock to my bosses, so to speak, or wherever the hell it is. And I'm reaching out to people who understand the situation we're in. The conversation I had with my psychiatrist today, and sorry, this is a little weird and hard for me to get through because it's very personal. I recorded this during my therapy session with my therapist today, and I had lots of other things that I've been working with my therapist on, and today they all just kind of went to the sideline because of a question I decided to ask her. And the question I asked her was, am I safe in Moab if there's a fascist regime? And I'll tell you, it was an interesting thing to ask her because her name is Antje and she's German. And it just went still and we had this long conversation, and I'll tell you what I said to her and then I'll let you hear it. Because I recorded it and it was so raw in the moment of me figuring out, how do I feel about oh, hey, Sarah, talking about something a little personal today, but I'm glad you're here. I had a moment with my therapist, and I'm reading what I said to her today, and then I'm going to play to you it, because if you want to, I'll bring on video. I'm going to try. You can say no if you want, but I'm trying to have even if I'm watching it, I'm going to have this conversation in a way with somebody at some point, because I find it important, and I'm totally, if you don't even know what it's about, then, ooh, come on, have brain writing. Oh, man. Anyway, because I just moved back to Moab. I'm from Monticello, and I grew up there, and I went to Salt Lake. I've been all over the world, and I just moved back, and now we have these, I don't know, the situation that we're in. And anyway, these are the thoughts I'm thinking, and I don't know if I'm going to get yelled at online for saying them, but I'm going to put them out there today. So here goes. Let me play it for you. This is what I said to my shrink today, and I said, "Do you mind if I record this?" Because she said, "No, go ahead."
What am I going to say? I'm going to say my name is Kit Izotyn Wetrok, and you may formally know me as Christopher Bruce Halliday. I'm changing my name, and here's why. It's not because of my family, and it's not because of the past. It's because of a future that I'm trying to advocate for. And that future is for Wetrock. And Wetrock means, to me, a habitable planet. I just happen to be named Wetrock, and my property has a spring on a rocky area.
Marketing.
So yes,
it is a little bit.
Wetrock to my bones or fossils or whatever the hell it is. And I'm reaching out to people who understand the situation we're in and the conversations I have to have with my shrink, which is, am I safe in Moab under a fascist regime? And how does this work moving forward? And these are the thoughts I'm thinking, and I don't know if I get yelled at for saying them, but I have to put them out here. These are what I'm living with. How's that sound?
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. It's just that's what it feels like. And I'm glad that you're at least you're not sitting there going, "What? This is irrational that you're thinking these things." My God, it's not at all.
It's not.
Oh,
and then
I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, that's fine. And
I'm sitting there recording her, and she's like, "I'm not talking while that thing's recording." Anyway, so that was my day with my shrink. And the reason it was so shocking to me is it was so not at all what I went there for. I've got contractor issues and this and that, and family this and brother and sister. I've got normal psychiatric things I want to work with through with a shrink. And none of that mattered. And you know what was funny about the conversation is, you know, she's a German woman, thick German accent. She says to me, you know what she says to me? She says, you know, I've always wondered what I would do if I lived in, you know, before World War II. What decisions would I have made? And she says, Kit, I ask myself that every day now because I have a family and people to protect. And she says, I don't know what I would do if I were you in Moab. She goes, I can't tell you you'll be safe. She goes, I know the temperature out here. That scares the pants. I've lost somebody, but that was scared. You know, I mean, my God. And I think the people around me I don't even talk to people about it because they don't know. Nobody knows. It's like, oh, that it's kind of like in Utah, it's a foregone conclusion that, oh, well, whoever was the red guy won, so we're happy, you know, and that's kind of, I think, where people are. I don't think JB Cook. Oh, JB, how you doing? I'm having a melancholy conversation today with, I guess, you. Anyway, I don't know what you saw prior to this, but I'm going to try to. I'm just going to say you can come on if you want, just because I've always wanted to try to get something on you. Pretty good from water. Bring it back. Oh my God, did you come on?
Oh, yes.
Hey, what's up?
Yo, how you doing, man?
Oh, not bad. What are you doing?
You don't even want to know. I'm working on bikes.
You working on your what?
I'm working on bikes.
Oh, okay.
But I'm.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, but it's probably because I'm in the basement.
Oh, there you go. Now I hear you. Okay. Anyway, had an appointment with my shrink today, and I'm trying to figure out if Moab's going to be affected by some of the political climate I've heard around the place. How are you being affected by it at all?
I mean, positively and,
Yeah.
and pretty much. Man, it's everyone's losing their book. Excuse me. Everyone on the left is losing their minds, and just ignore them and let them lose it. Nothing's happened that's not the end of the world. Nothing everything that they're saying is bad that's happening is not happening. They just don't have anything else to grab about.
Huh. I mean, nobody I know in Moab, but see, I don't really talk to anybody.
Right.
I mean, I just sit up here in my house and I've got construction going on all the time, and I'm in a bubble. But see, all of my friends in DC are scared. Well, I spent 25 years in DC
Right.
before I moved back home. So I'm talking to people who aren't in Moab is the point.
Right. That's that's people in Moab, because Moab is blue too. None of it actually affects us very much. It'll affect us in a few years when the economy's better, and that's the only thing he's doing is cutting money. He's not doing anything to hurt anybody, and he hasn't.
You think?
Out
So you know I'm gay, right? And that's the thing I'm worried about is there's some of this stuff that's flashing back on gay people. I mean, and I don't think I'm going to get lynched or anything, but you know.
That's the only thing involved are the trans people, and the trans people are for themselves, not for anyone else. Trump just made it.
I don't know. But even them, I don't want them to be afraid either, really. I mean, I don't know.
No one needs to be afraid. When's the last time you were actually afraid, man?
I know. That's why I'm scared now. I've never been afraid like this before in my life.
It's just fear mongering. There's no.
Maybe I don't know. No, I hope I'm not doing it. I'm just talking to my here. Let me tell you. I played it earlier, but I'll play. This is what I said at my shrinks today, and it was very heartfelt. I don't know if you can hear this.
What am I going to say? I'm going to say my name is Kit Izotyn Wetrok, and
this is just my recording.
My name is Christopher Bruce Halliday. I'm changing my name, and here's why. It's not because of my family, and it's not because of the past. It's because of a future that I'm trying to advocate for, and that future is for Wetrock.
And I'm I don't Wetrock's planet Earth. I'm just like I believe in, things that help the planet survive.
Yeah. Rocky area. So yes, I'm wet rock to my bones or fossils or whatever the hell it is. And I'm reaching out to people who understand the situation we're in and the conversations I have to have with my shrink.
And I'm saying this to my shrink.
Am I safe in Moab under a fascist regime? And how does this work moving forward? And these are the thoughts I'm thinking, and I don't know if I get yelled at for saying them, but I have to put them out here. These are what I'm living with. How's that?
And she's sitting there, listen, she says, I mean, she's nodding like, well, of course we have to think about this. And then she goes on, she's German, and she goes on to say, well, you know, I didn't know, I always wondered what I would do if I'd lived before World War II. And she goes, now I think about it every day. This is my shrink. My shrink is telling me this. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just weirded out today.
There's nothing. What they haven't. When people say fascist nowadays, that's just it's a red flag that they're not quite in touch with reality. There's nothing fascist about any of this.
Well, you know where you're right is, first of all, the word fascist and the word Nazi don't even mean anything anymore. You can't, because everybody uses that word just as a bad word.
Well,
so if you're really talking about
Trump's
something like, if your
Nazi.
next door neighbor says, hi, I'm Jim, I'm a Nazi, you can't even say he's a Nazi, because even it doesn't mean anything. The word doesn't mean anything.
Right.
So anyway, I don't know, but if we are under a fascist regime that doesn't like homosexuals, am I in trouble? That was my question. And she said, well, I don't know. I don't know. You need to think about that. And that scared me that she said that.
Looks to me like the only people that have their panties in a wad are people that have more rights and more freedom and more everything than they've ever had before. And except money. We all have less money, and that's because of the last 4 years. But that's probably going to change. There's no. I don't understand why this, like, everyone says I'm afraid. There's nobody's doing anything.
Well, listen, you know, in fairness to the friends of mine that are telling me that, you know, we're in Moab. I mean, I'm a white guy in Moab. I don't have anything to be scared of. You know, I mean, that's not really, we're insulated from where things things are in motion. You know, people are being, you know, I don't know, sent back to their countries. And I mean, it's not just because we're not seeing it in Moab doesn't mean it's not happening. It is.
Well, they need to be shipped back because they need to be shipped back. They're not. There's a process, and they didn't follow it.
Well, I don't know. I don't know exactly.
If you went to the UK and overstayed your visa, and you got caught, what would they do?
I don't know. I don't even know the old laws, let alone the new ones. And that's just the truth. I don't know the process. I never have. I mean, I know there is a process. I think, yes, people should follow. And if they haven't, they should have to follow the fucking process.
And if you're not a criminal, like if you're not getting arrested and going to jail, you honestly don't have much to worry about. Because that's who they're coming to get, or that's who they're getting, criminals.
Yeah, I know, but when it's immigrants, and then I don't know, I just don't know how quickly it turns to gays, or how many people just think, oh, gay and trans are the same thing. I don't know, man. I'm just nervous.
That's no one's shipping anyone anywhere. Like that's like there's more. The only backlash is against all the trans stuff. Because they're trying to change the language, and they're trying to make people think something that's not factually true. And because there's something, it's not about trans people. The trans people aren't the ones that are pushing this and that are pushing the DEI. Like it's not the people that are supposed to be the beneficiaries of it. They're not the ones pushing it. It's something else pushing it. There's a lot of money, like billions of dollars going into pushing these agendas and this rhetoric, and it's in the long run, it's not beneficial to the DEI is definitely not beneficial to anybody of color. I mean, that's just like, let's say, that's like affirmative action. It's like giving people free stuff never helps. Okay, across the board makes it worse. But there's, with all this trans stuff, they're the denying the reality. I mean, I love it. Dude, you know me, I love trannies. Like, I love trans folks. I love, especially if they're good looking. Like, I'm like, I want to hit that. So that's, that's not a girl. They look like one. Even better if it does, or they, him, whatever. I mean, I'm not going to insult them to their face. I'm not going to call it, and I'm not going to insult them behind their backs. But I'm not going to. It's getting your dick cut off means that there's something very, very wrong, and that sucks. And that's, I mean,
I don't know. Oh my God.
But it's, I mean, that you can't deny that there's, I mean, that if something inside of you, if you feel like there's something wrong, that wrong, that you get the snip tuck, then yeah, that there certainly is, but they're pushing it to the kids too much, and then there's something. I mean, it's something is wanting to destabilize society and culture. I mean, and it's certainly done that, or divide people. I mean, I hope it's that simple, but I don't think it is, because when language stops meaning, like when the truth has multiple truths, or because that's there, then there's that's the predicate to something, or the preface to something that's.
I don't know what to say. I will say that we just well, we probably disagree on some of that. I'm in the. My friends are these people, lots of them. None of them have been done well, but the things that lots of people say that community does, I don't know people that do that. So I just don't know them personally.
Well, that's the thing, is like nobody. It's even the people that know a bunch of them don't know the ones that are doing it, or don't know the ones that are. I'm not going to say causing the problems, because they're not. There's somebody in the shadows with some puppet strings, and they're.
You know the population of total trans people in the world? You know, there's like not even 10,000 of them. Like, this is an agenda. This is a piece to divide.
Oh, no, there's if you look at it like for self, like it's for self-proclaimed, dude. There's like the increase in.
Hang on. Well, let's look it up. I mean, let me look it up. Hang on. How many trans people are there in the world? I'm just asking Google. It says there's 400. Well, there's less than 1% of people.
Which is about no, but there's.
I don't know. I'm just Googling it. I don't know these things. I don't go off sound bites, so I just like to look it up is all. Less than 1%, 0.06. Oh, 0.06%. And that is I don't know. But it's just not enough people to make people so angry.
I bet you if you graphed it by demographic, or by age group and generation, I bet you in the last 5 or 10 years, I bet you that graph looks like it's logarithmically increasing.
Well, what demographic do you want to know about? We'll look it up. Well, like you said, what, 18 to what? 15 to 35?
Well, just compared to like the percentages of them.
What has been the trend in trans people in the past 10 years? This will be interesting to look up. In the last decade, the number of people who identify as trans has increased. The number is, well, due to more acceptance, it's gone up. But as far as the I'm looking through it. There's a graph here, though. I wish I could show it to you. Number of people identifying increased since 2014.
I bet it's been 100, like it's multiple hundreds of percentage.
The relating issues, life and project. Has the number of trans people increased? So it's gone from, at least as far as who acknowledges that they are, 5 out of 1,000 to 9 out of 1,000.
It's almost 100%.
I don't know what that is. 5 out of 1,000. So it hasn't doubled since for a long.
That's an 80% increase.
Right, but even then, that social acceptance, I mean, gays were the same thing. We used to think there was 100 of us. And then, as we started to come out of the closet, more of us started saying, you know what, there's more of us.
Yeah, whole bunch of them. And that's not even counting the straights with quotation marks.
Oh, no. This is very Wikipedia. It just is numbers. It's not, there's no agenda behind these. I'm not reading them off like some propaganda website. This is just right out of Wikipedia numbers. Factors contributed: greater social acceptance, increased awareness, increased social media that allows young people to connect with others, visibility, other issues, life improved.
I bet you one of the things that they don't have on there is the social pressure that they get when they're younger, from kindergarten on. Like, not even the social pressure. It's we're teaching stuff to kids that shouldn't be taught in schools. Like, that's not the school's responsibility. But I mean, that's because the parents are lazy, and it started with sex ed in high school, and then the schools shouldn't be the ones in charge of that.
Well, I haven't heard anything about anyone trying to push transgender into school conversations. Have you?
Oh, dude, that's what all the right wing's throwing a fit about now.
Who is doing that? What
What
state?
Huh?
What state? Because education is per state. What state was pushing that?
Every single one of them, man.
No. I mean,
just like dude.
We'd see it. It would be on the news.
It is on the news.
No. I mean, like right now, Kansas is putting some. I mean, this would make it tomorrow or the next day if it was one state that wrote it. Like right now, I can tell you which states are doing what. Kansas is trying to put the 10 Commandments back on the something. I mean, these are state education issues. Well, let's look it up. How many states?
Which one of the 10 Commandments do you not agree with?
Oh, no. Oh, coveting thy neighbor. That's one of them.
That's not good.
Well, coveting is a thought. It's not something you do. It's a thought. So to not covet something means you can't. It's thought crime. You've committed a thought crime. And I don't believe in thought. Hang on a second. I need a glass of water. Sorry about that. Hang on. This is Instagram, right?
Well,
I think this is I've live streamed off Facebook today, and then I think this is Instagram.
It's Facebook because I don't have Instagram.
Shit, I don't want this to be Facebook. Oh well, it's too late. Hi, everybody. Just because I don't want to go political on anything. It's not. I don't want to pick fights with anybody. And in Moab, like you said, it's stupid. In Moab, it's like I don't care. I mean, I know my neighbor. I know the local leadership, and they're great people. On the local level, I'm not sure that there is anything to worry about, except I don't know how much backlash the homophobic thing's going to go. Personally, I just don't know how.
There's nothing homophobic happening though.
Well, I mean, a gay pride there was. We got chased off by gay pride by a pack of 8 like underage kids, dude. This year, fucking this year, I was there, man. It was so ugly, I can't even tell you, man. It was
What
ugly.
are we doing?
Oh, so here's what happened. We just marched the freaking flag around the block, which is what we do. And then we got done. We're about done. There's maybe 20 of us left. And this little kid comes up. He's not even 9 years old, and he has a sucker in his hand. And he says, "Can I have your flag?" Pointing to the big one on the ground. And we thought it was really, they're like, "Oh, no, that's too bad. That's a big, expensive flag, but we got a small one for you. Here you go." And we handed him a little gay flag, and he takes it, turns around, drops his pants, shoves the flag in his ass, and says, "Fuck you, faggots," and throws the flag on our ground. And then he runs off to this posse of like 8 other little kids, and they're all laughing and pointing and blocking the path for us to get out. That was here in Moab this year.
Sounds like a little kid who needs his parents to whoop his ass.
Well,
But you don't.
I mean, we can't. Oh, and you know what? You want to know the really sick part of it? Here's the really sick part of it. When we're trying to get through the barricade of them, they're holding their phone saying, "Don't show us that. We're just kids. Don't show us that. We're just kids."
Yeah, you can't. You can't fight. You can't. You just have to ignore shit like that because that's. I mean,
We literally couldn't
that's a
go
lack
home,
of parenting.
man. It was embarrassing too, you know?
I'm sure.
Anyway, that was the same day. I'm not sure if you heard about this. Did you hear about Money down there at the Chevron?
Which one?
Money, the guy that I don't know if he owns the Chevron down past.
Just the squirm more like the deli.
Yes, the one with the deli.
Yeah.
The guy, one of the guys that works there, his name's Money. That same day, that same fucking day, I'm on my unicycle going down to City Market, and I see Money and two of his guys that he works with. I don't know their names, but I've seen them all the time. I like those guys.
Oh.
And they're flagging me down on my unicycle. And I pull over on my unicycle. I said, "What's going on?" Money's sitting there holding this kid's wrist. This kid's wrist. And you know what the kid says to me? The kid says, "Help, help, this man's hurting me." And I looked at that kid and I said, "No, I know these guys and they're not hurting you. What did you do?" And anyway, those kids were stealing beer. And guess who spent 3 days in fucking jail?
He did?
Money.
For what?
Because he's an immigrant and his parents threw that card.
Well, no. What are you charged with?
Well, you can't. They thought the kid was telling the truth. Money was hurting him. Money had whooped his butt. Abused the child.
Right. I mean, if you stop them selling, like if they're committing a crime, yeah, that's I bet they got everything dismissed though.
What?
Did he get everything dismissed?
Well, I don't know. I apparently he asked me to talk to his lawyer, and I did. I don't know if that's gone to court or what, but I told him. I said I was there. I saw the whole thing. You didn't hurt that kid. You were just trying to hold him until the cops got there.
That I mean, yeah,
that was all in one freaking day, you know. So yeah. I mean, you know, I don't know, man. I'm not a big fan. I left Monticello when I was 15. I grew up in Monticello, an hour south from here, and I left there when I was 15 years old because I was afraid for my life back then. And let me tell you, I had every reason to be. I had every reason to be. And now, I come back, and this is what I come back to. It's like the world hasn't even moved.
Oh yeah, it has. Dude, look at Moab is one of the most gay-friendly places.
Oh, I know that, and the tourists are great. You know, people. Oh crap! Did I lose them? Michael. That's Cannon. Hi, Cannon. Danette. Oh, hi, people. This was interesting today. Oh, for those of you who don't know, this came out with 5 therapists. I can't believe this is what I played from my therapist's office today. Just so you guys know, it's okay, JB. We'll talk another time. We were hogging the whole freaking thing. It was not. Thank you for jumping on with me. That was nice to talk to you, and thank you for your perspective. Really, J.R. Fisher's. But I'll play you this is what sparked that whole conversation with JB. Thank you. And JB, by the way, JB got his gun taken by an asshole, Jeffrey. Some guy, Jeffrey. I met him on a bus, and he stole a bad guy in Moab. Hope the police get him. This is what I said to my shrink today. Where is it? And I went into my shrink's office. I thought, I've got all these things I want to talk to you about. None of it even matters anymore with kind of what's going on in my head. So I don't know if this is what's in anybody else's head, but.
What am I going to say? I'm going to say my name is Kit Izotyn Wetrok, and you may formerly know me as Christopher Bruce Halliday. I'm changing my name, and here's why. It's not because of my family, and it's not because of the past. It's because of a future that I'm trying to advocate for. And that future is for Wetrock. And Wetrock means
Patreon. So, come on.
habitable.
Someone get a shekel.
I just happen to be named Wetrock, and my property
Change
has a
my
spring
name.
on a rocky area. So yes, I'm Wetrock to my bones, or fossils, or whatever the hell it is, and I'm reaching out to people who understand the situation we're in and the conversations I have to have with my shrink, which is, am I safe in Moab under a fascist regime, and how does this work moving forward? And these are the thoughts I'm thinking, and I don't know if I get yelled at for saying them, but I have to put them out here. These are what I'm living with. How's that sound?
And she's like sitting there nodding. She's like,
I don't know what else to say. It's just that's what it feels like. I'm glad that you're at least you are, at least you're not sitting there going, "What? This is irrational that you're thinking these things."
not
My
even
God, it's not.
nothing. She's like, I mean, and that's the thing. Just the fact
I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, that's fine. And
I left it recording. She's like, cut it off. I'm not talking while it's recording. This was with my shrink. But let me tell you, if you go into a shrink, if I'd gone into a shrink and said that under any other time in my life, she'd have said, kid, I think you're a little paranoid. I think you need to, no, She's like, no. First of all, she's German. Her name is Antje. And she says, kid, I've always wondered what I would do in pre-World War II. I've always wondered if I'd be the person that buried my head in the sand and said, well, I'll just kind of, that's not affecting me. Would I be that person or would I stand up? And she says, I think about it every day now. And she goes, I'm not sure I love the answer because she goes, I've got family I have to protect. So I don't know, man. My shrink did not make me feel better today because she validated everything. I wanted her to say I was being paranoid. I really did. I still do. I don't know. And maybe this is something that goes away sometimes. Maybe, I don't know. Anybody, who else is on there? I'm gonna bring Kate on. He'd be funny if he got Brian again. Oh, unable to add guests. Of course not. JR Fisher, I'm gonna send JR. Unable to. Okay. Anybody pops on here, I'm gonna try to bring him in. Let's see, who else? Michael, it'd be fun. No, come on, guys. No, nobody. Jacob, unable. All right, well, Sean Eaglet. My God, I got a few people. All right, get back where. Let's talk later. Okay. Anyway, that was interesting. Wow. Well, there you have it. Oh, you know what? I wonder if I can just. I might just kind of segue this to the outside. We'll go see.